trying to finish up the wall that divides the woodworking area from what will be the metalworking area. One of the things I wanted to talk about tonight was the name of my farm here and the name of my channel. A name says a lot about a person. More about the people who gave the name than the person who bears the name. My name, for instance, I was named after both of my grandfathers. My first name's after my father's dad, and my middle name's after my mother's father. You know, I think that says a lot about my parents. They obviously respected their fathers quite a bit to honor them with naming their son after him or after them, which I think is a great thing. Before I talk more about that, I do want to talk about dividing this workshop up and a little bit of the thought process behind that. I'm a firm believer when you have a larger property and you have things you have to take care of, you have to have the ability to fix things yourself. You've got to be able to work on a piece of machinery, you've got to be able to fix something of the house or on the barn. And so having the woodworking background, metalworking, be able to work on a piece of machinery, those are all skills that you need if you're going to live this lifestyle. You don't have to be great at them. You don't have to be a finished carpenter or a great mechanic, but you've got to be able to get by and you got to be willing to try things. And so I'm trying my best to set up my shops separately and have them organized in a way to where if I have a woodworking project I want to do, I can come in and efficiently get it knocked out. Or if I need to work on the tractor or one of my vehicles or something like that, I can get it knocked out easily. So there'll probably be a lot of videos over the next year or so or more of me getting my workshops together. And then beyond that, I don't know if you all have seen the trim on my door or noticed that, but when this workshop is done, I want it to be I want it to have some character, be a place where I want to be at. I want to be comfortable where I am. So, that's kind of the why behind putting as much effort as I have into, a workshop. Personally, I'm a much better woodworker than I am metal worker or mechanic. So I do feel like my wood shop will get the most attention and will be the nicest. I started out the name of Shawnee HIlls Woodworking, but I went away from that because it takes so long to do a woodworking project that it would be months in between some of the projects, and I don't want to be somebody that's rushing to get a project out, every week or whatever. So I've changed it to Shawnee HIlls for the time being. I may change it to Shawnee Hill Farms, or Shawnee HIlls Farm. I hesitate doing that because I consider myself a real farm. I'm not, I don't have any animals. We've got hay that we grow up, and I actually let my neighbor cut that and keep that. I don't have need for it at the moment. So I don't want to take away from, what I would consider real farmers. So my grandfather is a man that I respected a lot. He was a hardworking man. He was a homesteader before people talked about being a homesteader. He was a carpenter. All my life, while he was alive, he had huge gardens and a lot of land. And there's no doubt in my mind that it would have been nothing for him to live without any of the modern conveniences. And for the most part, they did live without that. My grandmother still does. Well, he passed away in 2007. Not long after he passed away, there was a mountain slide, which happens when it rains a lot and the side of the mountain will literally just slide off the rock face. And it slid down and took out half of his largest barn. Well, I went down to help clean out all the good stuff out of the barn before they had to tear it completely down, or what could be salvaged. And while I was down there, my father called me and he asked me if I was able to find the sign. And I had no clue what he was talking about. And when I asked him what sign, he kind of almost acted like he didn't believe that I didn't know what he was talking about. I don't remember the specifics, but I believe he came down the next day and we went up in the loft and to find that sign. It was one of those things that's kind of scary to go up in the loft, because at this time the barn was angled over and was about ready to collapse. But it was important to him. It was important to him to find this sign. So we're up in the loft and he's digging around behind things that have been there longer than I've been alive. I really should have cleaned up before I started this. But from behind a bunch of stuff, he pulls this sign. And it says Shawnee HIlls Farm, Hardwood & Sons. Which makes me think that it was made before my aunt was born. At least I guess I kind of hoped it was. Kind of mean if it wasn't. Or maybe that was just the thing back then. But I believe she is about 50 right now. My dad is 65. So it was made quite some time ago. My first question was, why didn't he ever put it up? I mean, they had 2 posts and a gate coming into the farm. It would have fit right across there, would have been perfect. And Dad didn't know. And so I asked my grandmother, and I think, all she said was that he wasn't happy with it. It has a few errors on it. The ends are backwards. From the looks of it, I think he was using a template. I don't know that for certain, but I'm guessing he reversed those accidentally while he was painting. There's some apostrophes where they don't need to be. And so, I don't know. I don't know if he was, I don't know if he noticed it on his own and it embarrassed him, or he just was unhappy and not willing to do it again. I don't know if maybe somebody else pointed it out and, it embarrassed him, or just once they pointed it out, he realized it and didn't want to go through the effort again. I'm not sure. But I know when I saw it, I fell in love. To me, it's folk art. It is, to me, it's amazing. That's what makes it special. My father and my grandfather were both carpenters. They built houses, and they took me with them. And I ended up working with my grandfather a lot, so he taught me a lot. And a lot of the way I look at things are based on my experiences with him. So Shawnee HIlls means nothing to me. I don't have any relationship with Shawnee. I don't even have a clue why my grandfather decided to name his farm that, or wanted to name his farm that. There's no clue whatsoever. But it's special to me because he made it. And because he put all that effort into it and then never hung it, I don't know, I felt like in some ways I was honoring him by hanging it. And because he was a carpenter, and I don't want to put it outside because I don't want to ruin it, but I figured what better place than in my wood shop to put it. And to be honest, that's when I feel the closest to him. I use a lot of hand tools, and a large portion of the hand tools I use on every project I do for my grandfather. When I was a kid, he used to give me a tool every time I would come see him. And whether it be a pocket knife or a hand plane or something, he always gave me a tool. And that's something that, you know, I treasure and I still do. So, keep a picture of him over top of my workbench, a picture of he and I together. You know, I guess this is my way of showing my respect. I got up the ladder, got the piece up before I realized that I didn't have my nail gun. It's a rookie mistake, which I make a lot of. Like I said earlier, I have no clue how old this sign is. But I do know that it's about to get hung for the first time since it's been made. And I can't tell you how that makes me feel.